The housing market is tough for pretty much everyone right now, but especially for one generation. We're talking about millennials. The Business Insider headline says it all. Millennials are getting priced out of cities, and researchers don't necessarily think the trend will change. So for more analysis, let's bring in Dr. Riordan Frost. He's a senior research analyst at the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies. Doctor, thanks so much for being with us. So let's set the stage here. What are the factors that have made city living so unattainable for this generation?
Thank you for having me. So it really is just about not building enough housing, right? So after the Great Recession in particular, construction companies just really never got back up to those kind of pre-recession construction levels. And so they just didn't build enough housing. And millennials, the largest current living generation, came into these cities, really tried to make that work and just weren't really able to afford it and are now getting priced out, especially as their kind of lifestyle and household composition changes.
So it used to be that, you would live in the city and then maybe you get married. And then once you had a kid, you had to start thinking about school. And that's when you would look to the suburbs, get into a good school district. Because the suburbs had what you wanted. I'm wondering now.
In terms of a certain quality of life.
The quality of life,
right.
The things that became important to you, which is, not having to pay for some outrageous private school. You can actually just send your kid to the local school. So I'm wondering now, with younger people moving to the suburbs because they have to, because that's all they can afford, are we seeing the suburbs maybe develop? Are we seeing, the things that younger people want popping up?
Yes, definitely. So in a paper that I worked on with Hyojung Lee and Whitney Aragoda-Bricky, colleagues of mine, we found that from 2011 to 2021, millennials were suburbanizing. They were kind of going out to these far out areas of metro areas like the peripheries. But then the amenities in those places increased over time as well. And so it seems as though millennials have kind of brought the city with them to a certain extent, even though they're going out to these kind of far-flung suburban areas. So amenities are starting to grow there. Maybe even, from millennials themselves opening businesses or whatever it is, but, restaurants and parks and other things like that are going to these places that were kind of previously, much less amenities. So millennials have kind of left these amenity dense areas, but they've brought it with them to a certain extent.
Right.
Yeah, but help me understand something, Doctor. And this is, I will readily admit, this comes from a New York-centric point of view, a New York City-centric point of view, which is that New York is so different than the rest of the world in that this is a densely populated and concentrated urban environment. But I used to joke with my wife, who went to college in Chicago. We'd drive around Chicago, and I'd say, "Oh, are we in the suburbs?" And she'd say, "No, this is still Chicago." And I'm like, "Wait, there's a strip mall here, right?"
Yeah.
I don't understand. So to me, I think people who are in this part of the country have a certain mentality when it comes to moving to the suburbs, where, for example, in Boston is similarly sort of laid out the way I think Chicago is, which is you have a sort of a city center, but the outer rings, Cambridge and the places that are far-flung, people still say I'm from Boston even though they grew up in Stoneham.
Yeah, and to his point, I'm even thinking about sort of beyond Philadelphia to places like King of Prussia, where what you see now are these huge condo developments happening, and within those condo developments are restaurants and gyms, and there's sort of little cities surrounding the mall.
Right.
And that's the suburbs, but it's starting to look a little like a city.
Right. So the question is, when we define suburbs, and you say they're moving to the periphery, what kind of periphery are we talking about?
Yeah, so when we define kind of suburbs and periphery as two separate things. So in suburb, we're looking at, what is the share of single-family homes? What is the share of car commuting? And we're looking at things like that so we can kind of see how urban or how suburban does it feel. And then when we're looking at the periphery, we're looking at actually geographically, are you far out or are you kind of closer in to the city? And what we kind of expected was that millennials, given their kind of urban preference, would be moving to suburban areas, but maybe that were a little more urban in character or a little closer into the city, places like those Cambridge, Somerville, et cetera. But instead, what we found is the millennials were moving to these kind of peripheral, really far out, very suburban places. And again, those kind of became a little more urban over time as millennials were moving out there, and maybe as those condo developments kind of follow and everything. But what we really were surprised by with this study was that millennials were kind of moving quite far out, and I think that was really kind of driven by affordability.
And just out of curiosity, are you seeing sort of a reverse trend? Because I was thinking, well, then who's moving to the city? And I know quite a number of baby boomers who sold their big houses, and now they got condos in the city, and they're living the life.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing because I think that there are some baby boomers who are doing that, but then additionally, Gen Z is now moving into the cities, and Gen Z is now actually driving rental demand more than millennials are, especially as some millennials transition to home ownership and everything. And the other thing about these cities is that a lot of cities did something that scholars call youthified, and so they changed to meet the demands of millennials and now of Gen Z as well, but that sometimes makes them less suited for say, family-sized units or something like that. Like they don't have as many 3-bedroom plus units. They have like the studios, the 1-bedrooms that are work better for young adults.
Right.
And so then that makes sense as to why millennials are leaving, because if they have kids, if they get married, if they want a home ownership, whatever, then they have to leave those kind of city centers.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Dr. Riordan Frost, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.